Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Yeah, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the misconceptions Africans have about Jamaica and Jamaicans.
Yeah, so what we learned throughout our Jamaican series, the ones that we've done on YouTube, is that there are some facts and there are some misconceptions that we Africans were holding for the whole entire Jamaica that are not true. And through our series, we've gotten to learn some of these misconceptions were actually not true. Yeah, so we've been doing a couple of series on Jamaica and Jamaicans here in Kenya, and we've gotten to learn that there are some misconceptions that we as Kenyans and Africans generally hold about Jamaicans.
Yeah. And we want to thank all the people from Caribbean who are schooling us real quick about these misconceptions. So the first thing we want to talk about, the purpose why we are doing this video is so that we all can be educated. Also, other Africans who are watching this video can be educated.
Yeah,
and for Jamaicans and the other Caribbean island, for those of you who are watching us, to either if you can agree with us or if you can tell us some more about this topic, right?
Yeah, because I can tell you for a fact, and as most of you have seen in our series of Jamaican videos, most Africans actually and most Kenyans don't know that the Caribbean island holds many islands other than Jamaica. We in Africa think that the Caribbean islands only consist of Jamaica.
And that is the first misconception we are here to correct.
Right.
So for everybody who's watching this, all the other African countries, Jamaica is not the only island in the Caribbean. So that is one thing Africans normally think, that if you mention Caribbean, those who know about the Caribbean islands,
they associate Caribbean islands with
Jamaica alone.
Right.
So Jamaica is not the only island on the Caribbean, and we are also getting schooled as we do these episodes, right?
Right. And the second misconception that Africans hold about Jamaica is that Jamaica is in Africa. How old were you when you found out that Jamaica was not in Africa? Because all of us thought it at some point growing up.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know. I think I knew Jamaica was not an African country. Only after I grew up. To be honest, I can't tell
like
you,
at
but
what
very
point?
recently.
What point?
I really don't know. I can't tell. What point did you realize?
I'm guessing towards the end of my high school years is when I realized that Jamaica was not part of Africa. Yeah, so that is the second misconception that we Africans hold, that Jamaica is in Africa, but it indeed isn't in East Africa. I mean, it is not in Africa, and most people, especially Africans and Kenyans, have learned this through our videos and the videos of other YouTubers doing the Jamaican series.
Yeah, another thing I want to mention is, guys, let's have a conversation, okay? So from a very recent episode we did about Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
So there was this in the comment sections, you guys have been so lovely. There are those people who are correcting us with love. There are those people who are showing us love. But there are a few of you from Trinidad, we love you all. There are a few of you who are coming for us.
Yeah, you're very angry because of the fact that we didn't know that Trinidad and Tobago is in the Caribbean island,
right? Not us, but the people we interviewed. You guys were really angry that they didn't know that Trinidad and Tobago was in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and some of you were even angry that some of our interviewees didn't know that Trinidad and Tobago was even a country to begin with.
Yeah, so one thing I can tell you, because there was a comment that was telling us it's just as simple as Googling. Do your Googling, so that you can learn more about Trinidad. One thing about Googling, we can Google, but one thing about Google is that even for Africa, when you Google, the Western media
has corrupted the real image of a country.
Exactly. So if you Google, probably we won't find, the first thing we won't find it's not going to be praises about Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to be finding travel advisories that are advising people not to go to Trinidad. Such like things,
Yeah,
and
another thing, most of you have noticed, just the other day, America issued a travel
advisory against Jamaica. But some African content creators were there.
They're showcasing the safe parts of Jamaica, and they're showing you not all parts of Jamaica are dangerous.
Exactly, and they're advising for people to go and visit Jamaica, but the US government is advising against it. So you see, such like things. Another thing I was thinking to myself, yeah, we could Google, but the first thing that came to mind when that person told me to Google, not attack against this person. It's just an opinion. We're just voicing and having a conversation around this topic, right? So another thing that came to mind.
You say what you're about to say. One thing with Googling, I personally realized that Jamaica, even before we Google Jamaica, we grew up knowing Jamaica through their music, through the media, you know.
So exactly
basically through the media, you know. We never Googled Jamaica because back in our day when we were kids, there was not much internet. Internet just started being
common around 2016.
No, 2011 going to 2014, 2016.
Yeah,
beyond 2011 in Africa, internet wasn't that much of a priority.
It wasn't too common like it is right now. So Googling wasn't an option, but yet we still knew of Jamaica. We still knew Jamaicans existed. We still knew Jamaican music and culture and food, you know, because we used to enjoy these things growing up, you know.
Right.
So that's just on a lighter note, you know.
And adding on to that is, some of our interviewees, we asked them what the other Caribbean islands can do in order for Africans to know that there are other Caribbean islands that exist. Most of them said, you guys change your narrative and stop letting the Western media narrate what your country looks like. So most of them said, if you guys have YouTubers in your country, please encourage them to do more of your videos so that you can find more of your content online, so that you can know what about the others. I mean, something about the other Caribbean islands.
Exactly. So when we interview these people, please don't attack them. We just approach them and ask them their opinions on what they think, and these are genuinely what they think, genuinely what they watch in movies. Because like the first time I ever heard about Barbados or Trinidad and Tobago, it was on a movie.
Right.
It was on a movie. Movies like Blacklist, you know, they mention some countries in the Caribbean, but just in passing.
They don't necessarily also tell us where Cuba is at. So if you are so much interested in that movie, like the Blacklist, as she said, we'll go on the internet and search, wow, we saw Reddington in the Cuba. Where is Cuba? Blah, blah, blah. What kind of people exist in Cuba? But not everybody has the minds to go further beyond a movie to research on what the movie has shown.
Yeah, exactly. So they were just mentioning, like, politely, just mentioning what you guys should do, but it wasn't an attack on any Caribbean country. We all love you so much. So that was just in passing. They just voice out what they think.
Right.
Another misconception Africans have about Jamaicans is that, and this is a very common thing that
very common in any African country, not only Kenya, you guys, and that I can tell you for free.
They seem to think that majority of Jamaicans have dreadlocks. I guess because that is the culture that has been portrayed so much in your music
especially
genre,
the
reggae,
the early musicians, not the nowadays musicians.
Yeah, people like Conscience, they rock short hair. Remain Vigo, they rock short hair, you know.
Yeah, but for some reason we all just tend to deflect back to Rastafarians because of the likes of Lucky Dube and
Lucky Dube, South African girl.
I know he's South African, but you know, Bob Marley.
Yeah. So you know, so a lot of Africans, and I'm guessing it's not just Africans. A lot of people tend to
in the
think
world
that
in general,
Jamaicans are a big population rock dreadlocks, but without the
comment section, we know that less than 1% of you have dreadlocks, and a majority of you are don't rock the Rastafarian culture, you know. And the majority of you are Christians, and you're staunch Christians. So we learned that through the comment section.
Yeah, another misconception people have about Jamaica and Jamaicans is that Jamaican women are party animals, and they wear this kind of sexy clothes and such things, you know.
Like right now, you guys, we promise you, even if you go back to some of our earlier Jamaican series, for those who have not watched them, when you hear every guy speak in those interviews, most of them think that your women are very sexy, you know, they wear, you know, some kind of specific clothes. You guys know what I'm talking about,
overtly sexy clothes,
right?
You
know,
so
here in Africa, when you ask a man what they think of a Jamaican woman. That's the image they have in mind. That all women know how to twerk. Is that another misconception?
Yeah, that all women know how to twerk.
Another misconception that all women in Jamaica know how to twerk. All women in Jamaica are endowed like Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj is a Trinidadian, but she's from the Caribbean.
I'm using her figure as an example of what our men think Jamaican women look like.
Okay.
Right.
So you guys, we want to thank you so much for these educations, because such videos and such episodes is what
open up our minds.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we go beyond what the stereotypes that we hold as Africans.
Yeah. Another misconception people tend to have about Jamaica is that Jamaica is an African country. And this is funny because if you go, there's a video of ours we've posted. I think the title is what is the capital city of Jamaica? Asking Kenyans. And there's a question I asked people there about where they think Jamaica is located, and there are
a few good ones who think Jamaica is in Africa.
Yeah, and you wouldn't blame them.
Yes,
you ask them why, and they say because they have majority of black people,
and then their culture, their vibe.
It's like,
you know, and we understand them because you guys, as you usually say, you are descendants of Africans. So I think the vibe is kind of the same, although yours is amplified a bit.
So they tend to think that it's in Africa, but it's not.
Right.
Another misconception people think about Jamaica is that weed is legal in Jamaica.
So through the comments, even I used to think that weed is legal in Jamaica. If you go through our other videos, you'll see I agree. We agree with our interviewees when they say weed is legal, and we say weed is legal, you know. But through our comment section, thank you guys also again.
We've been educated.
Most of you told us that weed is not actually legal in Jamaica, but it is decriminalized. And someone went further to tell us that this means that certain groups of individuals are allowed to grow weed, but in certain controlled amounts and with licenses. So we get that, and we thank you guys for schooling us about that.
And we hope this video will school other Africans and other people from different continents who think the same, right?
Yeah, because it's not only Africa who thinks that weed is legal in Jamaica. I'm sure even United States people think that weed is in Jamaica, and then makes everybody, you know.
Yeah. So we thank you for the quick lesson. We hope that this will change a lot of the misconceptions out there. Another one, people tend to think, especially if you relate it to the rural parts of Africa, they tend to think that Rastafarians run the music industry, you know.
Right. But, oh my God, especially in rural Africa, anywhere in rural Africa, their mindset about the Jamaican music, they only think that Rastafarians dominate Jamaican music, you know.
Right.
Only Rastafarians.
Yeah, but also that is another big misconception
which we were schooled about, and thank you for that.
Right. So you guys, let us know what you think about this video. We appreciate you so much for joining our episode. Right.
And if you've not subscribed to our channel, you can support us by subscribing to our channel. And for those of you who can and feel like you want to appreciate us by donating something, you can donate to our PayPal,
or you can send us a super thanks. We really appreciate it so much. So it's been your favorite twins from Kenya. My name is Maren,
and I'm Maureen.
Yeah, and thank you so much for joining us. See you on the next episode. Bye.